Land and Facilities Committee meeting is called to order. Mr. Chairman, would you do a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Henry LaFont.
Here.
Mr. Myron Wright.
Here.
And Miss Marianne Fertitta.
Here.
You have a quorum, sir.
Thank you, sir. Item 2, Section A, from Domain Architecture to receive a report from Ingram Williams on various Hurricane Ida repair projects at Golden Meadow Middle School. Ms. Williams.
Welcome back.
Good evening. How's everybody? I'll start. We have 3 projects at Golden Middle right now. The main one is kicking off tomorrow with the pre-con meeting for the campus improvements and the new classroom building. So that gets started tomorrow with a big project meeting, and hopefully everybody, the whole team will be there. The contractors from that side, his subs, us, John, and Bob, I think I'll be in attendance to get that kicked off. 4, 5, and 10, the renovations to those buildings are on schedule, moving at a great pace. 10 is almost done. The roof has been put on that. Some of the interior stuff has been fixed and patched. That's the field house building, building 10. And then the cafeteria is going great. And then they fixed the windows. They put on the single ply on the roof. So all that's happening. And then the gym building, we had to add some steel for the wind loads and stuff in the area now. So that's complete. And they're doing a little bit of extra finishing up work around there. I think a little bit of the roof work is left on that. So they should be wrapping up in the next few months. So,
Questions for Ms. Williams?
And building 1, the roof.
yes, they have, they're gonna kind of wait and do that, I think, at the same time. So once they get moved from the cafeteria to the gym, they're gonna go to building 1. So,
Very good.
yeah.
Ms. Williams, please take care of the cafeteria. I have mighty fine memories there. From
Yeah,
my 3 years at Golden Meadow.
we'll do. Well, we patched it up real nice.
Thank you
So,
so much.
yes, all right.
And before we go any further, everyone, I want to let everybody know this is Nicholls State red, not Arkansas red.
Oh,
I was wondering.
I just want you to understand that.
Good to know, good to know.
I didn't want any change orders to come out from the gallery over there. All right, thank you, Ms. Williams.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ingrid.
Oh, wait, on the re-roof, they did yesterday they got a couple of them up, so we went and took pictures and looked at that for the sample. So I think Kate's reviewing that and she'll give them an answer.
Yes, on the main building.
Yes, on the main building.
The old historic building.
Yeah.
There was a
So they-
question that came in because it's not perfectly flat, right? Because the age of the building, but it's within range that we
Yes.
still have warranty, and the structural engineers, everybody's good with it.
Yeah, they
It's
are
just an
checking it
old
out.
building.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right,
Thank you,
thank
Ms.
y'all.
Just a report.
So just all what was this to consider? Okay, never mind. Never mind.
Item 3A, Salas O'Brien to receive a report from Doug Dorsey on the HVAC project at Cutoff Elementary School. Mr. Dorsey.
Good evening, y'all. We met last week on the project. The contractor has begun removing and replacing the insulation for the classroom wing. The equipment, the long lead equipment, has been ordered and should be here in the first week in July. And at that time, they don't want to remove the chillers off of the system until they have the equipment in hand. So they're not going to begin replacement of the equipment until that time. They have started running piping for the new outside air system, and that's about the extent that they can do without equipment in hand.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Dorsey, Chairman?
On another note, just on that school, the parish has begun doing some drain sweeping in the ditches around there and the outfall around there. So just kind of piggybacking on the Cutoff Elementary project as a whole, we'll be coming with you soon, hopefully with a plan to address the rest of the drainage issues.
Good, thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Mr. Torchill. Item 4A, Gotham Holloway Cortez to receive a report from Skipper Holloway on the classroom addition project at St. Charles Elementary School. Mr. Holloway.
Good evening, everybody. I think I got to catch up a little bit going around the horn here. And I'm going to try to be brief, even though Justin has quite a list of things for me to talk about. I'm going to try to be brief. I know we would like to be somewhere else where there's a game going on. But let me start by saying the contract sum status. Basically, the amount completed and stored today on the St. Charles Elementary School is $3,148,099.35. Contract percentage paid and pending 56%. Basically, contract time status. Days that have elapsed 387 days, and they have 81% of that time of that contract used at 480 calendar days for the project. Pertinent project information. The brick is currently being installed and is roughly 40% complete. The aluminum storefront impact rated window frames have been installed throughout the building, and insulated glazing is currently being installed. The interior block has been prepped and is getting ready with block filler and getting ready to be painted. The roofing system is currently 75% installed. Once all of the brick is installed, the contractor can complete the roofing, flashing, and trim that goes around the perimeter. The sprinkler system above ceiling rough ends for plumbing and electrical systems along with HVAC ductwork is currently nearing completion. Contractor has poured one section of the new parking lot, and he will be pouring the other sections before August when school starts. Building number 1, all interior finishes other than the ceiling have been completed. All plumbing fixtures and toilet petitions in the new restrooms have been installed. The chairlift is installed, and all emergency systems associated with it is being completed right now. Building number 3, the flooring renovation is scheduled to start this summer after all preschool testing has been completed. The contractor is coordinating this work with the principal. And lastly, the general contractor has submitted a change order for a request of 3 days. There's 8 days that he requested, but in the contract they have 5 as part of the contract. So he gets 3 days. And Justin looked at it and he approves and recommends that the change order be accepted for additional 3 days. And that basically wraps it up.
Any questions for Mr. Holloway? Thank you, Skip.
Thank you all. Enjoy your evening.
You too.
And based on Mr. Holloway's comments, we need a motion to approve a change order request to add 3 calendar days to the classroom addition project at St. Charles Elementary due to inclement weather. Mr. Wright moves, Ms. Fatita seconds. Mr. Chairman?
A recommendation would be to approve the change order request to add 3 calendar days to the classroom addition project at St. Charles Elementary School due to inclement weather.
Any? Any public comment? Any board comment? If not, let's vote. Motion passes. Next item, 5A from Jeremy Bruce Architects to receive a report from Daniel Bruce on various repair projects. Mr. Bruce.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to start from south to north. Golden Meadow Lower Elementary School. The building has been re-roofed. All the granular cap sheet has been installed. They are now working on the parent drive at the north side of the campus. If the weather leaves them alone over the next couple of weeks, they should be finished with that prior to the beginning of school starting in July, in August. Short and sweet. South Lafourche High School, They are working on the corridors of the 800, 900 two-story classroom building to remove and replace ductwork and to clean air handling units. And that's where they're going to be for the summer. And then come August, they're going to begin with 4 to 6 classrooms at a time, kind of methodically going through the school to remove and replace HVAC equipment.
Yeah, Bob has some pictures of the progress at Solid Food for his presentation.
Questions on that? And a little bit further north, the Transportation Center, officially dubbed. They have driven all pile. They have poured pile caps. They're going to start framing out the perimeter grade beams. And in the next 2 weeks, they're scheduled to pour the foundation of that building in about 2 weeks' time. Everything's going fine, smoothly. No issues so far. Questions? Go Tigers.
All right. Thank you, Daniel. Go Tigers. Thank you, Mr. Bruce. From the Planners Design Group to receive a report from Blaze Dufresne on various repair projects. Mr. Dufresne.
Hi, how are y'all? All right, so I guess the first one I'm going to do is Blue Middle School gymnasium. We're on schedule. The contractor actually completed the installation of the roof over the gym. As of yesterday, he sent me some photos. They actually are pretty far along with the gym flooring, installing the gym floor. So I think they're going to start sanding and finishing it maybe next week. And then they have a few exterior repairs, stucco and things that their sub is going to start as well. I think you might have started that this week. So we're on track to finish by the substantial completion date, which is toward the end of July. I think it's July 21st.
They may lose the first week or two of school just to allow the finish on the court, the cure and everything. We're still on track, right?
Yes.
For the beginning of the school year.
This is the hurricane repairs to the multiple locations throughout the district. We had a pre-construction conference on June 11th, and we issued a notice to proceed on that same day to Pisciola Construction. So currently the substantial completion date for that project is October 9th. They're in the process of probably getting their submittals, gathering submittals and getting ready to submit to us for review. So we're in the beginning stages of that one. Then we have the Central Lafourche and Thibodeau High School field house roof replacements. That one was just approved on the 4th by the board. So we're in the process of getting contracts drafted and done with that. So we do expect, let's see, a notice to proceed by the end of this month, early next month is when we expect that to happen. And then the auxiliary gym, this is one that's in design. The repairs to the Central Lafourche High School auxiliary gym, the end wall of the gym has some water infiltration and is damaging the gym floor. We did a water test about 2 weeks ago, and we did find an area on the roof, at the end of the roof, where it was leaking. They have some separation of the panels at the end of the roof. So that was a good catch there with the water test. And I do think it's still probably coming in through some of the cow wall panels, the translucent panels on that wall. It's kind of slowly saturating through that wall down over time because of the insulation they have in there. It eventually gets down to the floor and soaks in. So we're looking at a design scope right now, trying to figure out what we're going to do with that. We talked about maybe infilling, taking out the panels and infilling it and plastering over the whole thing, just to kind of try to solve that problem of those panels, because I think they've been an issue a little while now. And obviously repairing the roof.
I'm considering maybe adding it into the Central Lafourche Fieldhouse project that we have ongoing right there, but we still need to develop the scope to see how big of a project we're looking at.
Do we have any questions for Mr. Dufresne? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks, Blake.
Item 7, Castagnas Goodwin Udley Engineers to receive a report from Robert Udley on various repair projects. Ms. Dudley?
Yes, reporting on 3 projects tonight. The first being Galileo Elementary School Annex Building. It's a replacement of the fresh air systems there that were damaged, and they are in the process of doing it. They've hung the units. Things are moving along pretty smoothly on that job. We don't see any problems with it, and we expect it to be, and I've had the assurance of the contractor they will be finished and out of there by the start of school. So they will according to them, they will make the substantial completion date. Any questions on that one? South Lafourche High School sanitary piping project. This is a project where there was some piping that needed repair underneath the building. They did run into an issue there where when they were down there in the small rains that happened in South Louisiana occurred, there is a 4-inch pipe roof drain that comes down, and there's a few of them. They come down into underneath the building, and so when it rained, it was damaged already. The piping was not connected. There was a pipe that went in the ground, and what would happen is it was a 4-inch fire hose, basically, that would blast down there during a rainstorm, and it was going to eat out the dirt. It's eating out the dirt and everything down there, and then slowly goes down the other drain. So they connected together and made repairs on other joints that were in there that had been damaged over the years just from age, and they got that done so they could continue to work. But they did it on good faith at this point, and but there will be a change order associated with that, which will be part B of this. And that's going to be change order number 1. But they expect to be out of there within their substantial completion date and be complete with everything in the repairs underneath that section of the South Lafourche High School. Any questions on that one?
It seems that eventually it would have cracked the foundation.
No, it's a raised section, and that's all dirt underneath there. So it turned it into they had put down plywood down there, and were working on the plywood to fix the sewer piping that's hung or down in the dirt, right just underneath the dirt. And so they were fixing all of that. When the rain started, all their plywood floated away. So, and they were able to get out of the patch and then waited for it, went back down to try to find their plywood, but it's way over underneath the building somewhere else. So they
It's absolutely as sloppy as you're imagining underneath.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. You don't crawl into a water hole down there. You don't know how deep it is.
It's kind of a blessing we found this.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Right. So any questions, other questions on South Lafourche? Okay. And then the last project's Bayou Blue Middle School boiler project. That job is substantially complete. We're in a clear lien period, which will end on July 3rd for that project. We were able to get a roll-up door put in, change out the boilers so that we meet maintenance clearance requirements on those boilers, and provide more maintenance in that mechanical room. And that's about it on it. Any questions on the boiler job?
Thank you, Ms. Dudley.
All right.
So item B is to consider a motion to accept a change order request in the sum total of $14,146 and had 4 days to the contract for repairing newly discovered damaged roof drain piping to the sanitary piping project at South Lafourche High School. So moved, Ms. Matita, second, Mr. Wright, and I believe that's what you were addressing just a second ago. Is that correct? Any Mr. Sherman?
Yes, sir. That does include the design fee of $1,481, and an actual change order is $12,665. There's a design fee adjustment. Obviously, this was undiscovered, so Robert did have to do some work on this, and then they're looking to add 4 days to this.
Any public comment? Any board comment? Here we vote. Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Hutton. And from Grove, Flores, and Posteri, to receive a report from Andy Positeri on the various Hurricane Ida repair projects.
All right, good evening, everyone. I've got 3 projects to report on tonight. The first one is going to be the Central Lafourche High School, Thibodeau High School, finishing up of the re-roofing and painting of that structural steel that's exposed on the roofs. Material was delivered to the site for both the roof repair and that coating that's going to be on the steel yesterday. Of course, now we're in this rainy week right now, so the contractor will be mobilizing as soon as the weather allows. What will happen from this point forward is they will patch the areas of this high roof at Central Lafourche. There are some wet areas, I should back up and say that. So below the existing roof membrane, that lightweight concrete has some wet areas. We had some moisture testing done several months back and revealed that we know where some wet spots are in that deck. And so that's going to get removed, repatched, and then the roof will get coated. While that roof patch is taking place, they're going to be at Thibodeau High School coating and painting the steel that's over there. And then once the roof patching work at Central is done, they'll come back and coat the steel there. So that's kind of the game plan from this point forward with that project. The contractor, as I reported a couple months ago, is significantly in liquidated damages. And so we'll be having some discussions soon with staff and likely Mr. Amity to resolve that issue with the contractor. So things are moving slow, but they are finally getting a little bit of traction hopefully this week. That's all there is to report about, unless you have any questions.
Any questions? Go on, sir.
Thank you, sir. So the next project is the new school for Bayou Buff Elementary School. Our, what I'll call 96% construction documents have been delivered to Mr. Sherman's office a couple weeks ago now, so they're reviewing that. We're finishing our documents. The schedule for that project is to go out to bid, first advertisement on July 9th. So that's coming up soon, a couple weeks away. We plan on bringing that to this committee for your August meeting, August 20th, and then for a September 2nd full board approval. That's kind of that schedule, happening pretty quickly. There is a EHP review by FEMA that we're kind of waiting on at the same time, and I'll let Mr. Bernard kind of report on that, but we think the timing is going to work out so that we can sign this contract sometime in mid to late September. So that's just a schedule update for that project.
Any questions?
Any questions on that one? Thank you, sir. Last one's going to be the demolition project that's going on right now at Bayou Buff Elementary School. The only thing that's left standing that will be demolished is that front administrative portion where the office area was at that site. There's currently an electrical service that's come in, so I think on Monday, Entergy is supposed to set temporary power so that they can disconnect that last little piece, tear that building down, remove that little portion of foundation that's remaining. They will regrade the site, remove all of the debris. There was a huge antenna tower, a pretty tall antenna tower that has come down, and I shared some pictures in a little video with Mr. Sherman that we can show you, but it was kind of underwhelming because there wasn't much of a foundation under it. So we were curious to see what it would look like when it hit the ground, and there wasn't much to ooh and ah about. So anyway, I shared pictures this afternoon with Mr. Jeremy on that. The contractor is expecting to be finished with that by on or around July 13th, which is actually about 10 days ahead of schedule. So that's good news there. Back in the end of April, as you probably know, the parish has a pump station that's on the back of that site. back at the end of April, when they were removing the main building that was on that campus, the gas line to the pump station was fed by that main building that y'all had. And so the contractor quickly realized that he had to get gas service to that pump station in order for the generator to run. There was a flooding event that had to get done. So the contractor kind of took it upon himself to run a gas line directly from the meter that's there to the pump station. There is a little bit of a change order. That will be the next item, but that's the topic of that next item for you. So all that work has been done. They did it just, again, to keep the schedule going and make sure that the pump station was functional in case of flooding event may happen. So that's all I have on the report side. I know there's the change order after that.
Yeah, I apologize for not talking to you about this sooner. Before we move on, so the gas line is connected to the generator today. It's still feeding off of the school board's meter?
It is.
Yeah.
The school board's meter is the only meter out there.
Yes,
Now
I
we're
will
gonna-
speak to it for the change order, but we met with Dylan from Public Works over there, and on the change order, some of this cost, they're gonna reimburse us on it, right? It just makes more sense while we have our contractor there and everything else. We'll take care of it, and then we'll get with them and invoice it and switch it over. So then when the new school starts, the parish will have their meter, and we'll have our meter.
So that's
Would they change that all this while?
Yeah, that's my question.
Yeah.
yes.
You go back and how many years?
I mean, it's drawing out school also, so.
Yeah, I know, but it's good.
We will rectify that with the new building, though. We'll have a separate meter, and then we'll have to do a little.
Well, and also, I guess the parish could speak more to it, but it's just a pump that's a backup. There's two pumps there. We run the big pump, runs most of the time, right? So I did look at the utility bills to see, if there's a glaring difference in our utility use over there. And it's in line with all the rest, so it's not like it was a big draw on the school board. But we'll get it straightened out.
When I think that was their long time for all of us.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
When you were saying.
And do you have anything else before we move to the next item?
Unless there's any other questions, happy to answer.
All right, the next item is item B, and I need a motion to approve the change order request for various items in the sum total of $2,807.35 to the Hurricane Ida demolition project at Bayou Bluff Elementary School. I see the original amount was $4,622.29. There's a credit of $2,086.94. There's basic service design fees in the amount of $272 even. So I have a motion by Mr. Wright. I have a second by Ms. Fertitta. Any public comment? Any board comment? May we vote, please? And the motion passes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Next, item 9, from All South Consulting Engineers to receive a report from Bob Bernard on the Hurricane Ida recovery status. Thank you, Mr. Bernard.
Thank you. Well, you walk-up song didn't happen. All prepared, John. You didn't do it. You disappointed?
I have it queued up.
You want to get in trouble. Okay, I apologize for that last meeting, but things happen. I blame it on my kids, so. Anyway, all right, yeah. That was all right, so I got some FEMA updates. Never had this in a while because I kept telling you guys it was in FEMA's court. So we are seeing movement, which is good. On the first one, and look, when I say good, take that with a grain of salt. It's moving, but it's not there. We're not final. In fact, on the first one, it went out of, you can go back up to the top of the page. We're going to start with Central Lafourche press boxes. This is baseball at South Lafourche and Central. So CRC has it. If y'all remember, we had a call with CRC last year, which y'all probably don't remember. But anyway, they agreed to the cost, okay, based on code upgrades and everything else. So we thought at that time it was going to move and get to where it needs to get to.
that changed. That CRC guy is no longer with them. They handed it off to another guy. He approved it and moved it to peer review, but for a third of the cost of what we submitted. So normally what happens is that we have to contest it. We made a phone call to Eddie Williams, who's the head guy over this area. He pulled it back and sent it back to CRC. So he knows, we all know what it needs to be. We just have to get CRC to agree to it. So that's what's happening on that one. Any questions? All right. So good news, bad news on this one. We caught it, and it's back in CRC's court, and it's just a matter of them understanding what they need to do to get this project approved and move forward.
Mr. Bernard,
Yes, sir.
can he give you any reason why he decided to say, I'm only gonna do it for a third of what you want?
I think I gotta be careful. I'm not sure they know what they're doing in CRC and what they're looking at, to be honest with you. They're understaffed, they don't have the people that are knowledgeable, so they're trying to get help and pushing it off to other contractors to do it, and they don't understand the whole process. Plus, they weren't involved in that first phone call with the architect who explained to them why, the code upgrades have to apply. So you can kind of imagine what's happening. And we don't have direct contact with them. We can't pick up the phone and call CRC and have that discussion. So
It seemed that would have been so simple for the new guy to say, well, this has been approved already, move it on.
it seems like,
That's the government.
that's our frustration. But, again, we have a good team with Cindy and her staff with AllSouth that has the ear of some of the higher ups in FEMA that, we're staying on top of this and trying to, reel it in. So Chair ROTC, all of this is good news because all of these projects we're getting questions from FEMA, which is a good thing. It means they're looking at it. And we're answering the questions and it's satisfying their questions. So that's what's happening right now. Same thing with the Chair in ROTC. Daniel Bruce gave us some answers last week, and that too is back in CRC's court. Let's see, the 428 project. Same thing with this one. We several RFIs came in this week, and we're working with Domain on getting those questions answered for FEMA. None of these are earth-shaking. It's just costing, quantities, just real simple questions that they need to get answers on. The Bayou Buff is a little bit better. We have a CRC specialist that seems to be very helpful. In fact, he's finding some costs that he thought the architect may have been short on. So adding to it in this case, which is what they're supposed to do, right? They're supposed to look at the cost and work it both ways. Either it's too high or it's too low. And he's finding some things with that. He also agreed to the substantial damage determination, which is huge. That's a major step. So that's good news on Bayou Buff. Okay, the next two is still pending FEMA leadership. This is the HVAC replacement in Bayou Blue Building 500, which was the library and classroom building. So these were late submittals, if you'll remember, questionable whether or not it's going to be covered by FEMA as hurricane damage. And I think that has something to do with this one, why they're holding it. They want to make sure before they release it that they're confident that this will be a damage caused by Ida. And we're hopeful. We expect them to, so we'll see what happens with that. Okay, any questions on any of the FEMA projects? We can go through the pictures. I think all of these were discussed. Some updated pictures. This is the gymnasium at Bayou Blue Middle. So the old floor is out. They started putting in the subfloor, and since then they got about half the gym floor put in, since this was taken last week. So they're moving along really quick. I'll continue on. Okay, that's the new roof on the gym. As you can see, it doesn't match, or it isn't blue, right? Because they couldn't match the blue, so it's a cream color roof. You don't even see it from the ground. But that roof is complete, done by Laperouse. We continue on. And that's what you see when you look at it from the ground. Right? You don't even see the roof. Okay. Next one. Go to middle. We're starting to see metal. Finally. So the roof is going on at go to middle. They had to get Barrage out there to approve it. Barrage is the manufacturer that has to look at a portion of the roof work to approve it for them to move forward. So they've looked at it, approved it, and they can continue working.
Is there 2 layers of ice and water shield on that building now?
Actually, 2, yeah.
Except with Ingrid, there is a slight belly to it, but the warranty and everything is all in line with the manufacturer. He's fine with it. It's just, kind of had to just pause and make sure it was within line. But that's all been approved now.
Yeah,
so.
old structure, you have little variations in the roof. It was that way before the storm. You don't notice it unless you really stand there and look for it. In fact, you can't. You're looking at these pictures, you can't see it. In the next picture, just a close-up from a lower roof. You can continue. That's the finished roof at Metal Lower. That's the final cap sheet. So that roof is practically done. Continue. They're putting in flashing and just doing the final punch list items on that roof. All right, next. So this is what things look like at South Lafourche High School for the HVAC replacement. Covered floors, dehumidification, that's what that unit is right there because of, the heat exchange and the ceiling's open. Taking ceilings out so they can get to ductwork, remove it. Next one. And what you don't see there is the old ductwork already been taken out. So there will be new ductwork coming in. But right now they're in the demo phase. And they're doing a real good job as far as cleanup and remediation of the existing, so things seem to be moving pretty good. Next. That's the new outside air units at Galliano, those 2 tall units. That's for fresh air. Next. And one of the inside units, again, that's at Galliano. Next. We did get pictures in for Bayou Buff. So that was taken today. Everything's going except what Andy mentioned was the admin building, just that part where we still have power hooked up. And that pole that's leaning with that concrete foundation, that's the tower that came down. Next picture. That's it. That is only about, I stood next to it, maybe 5 feet.
They keep talking about this because I was obsessed with these towers. We've got them on every campus. It was from back in the day when we would project the internet through these towers. And I just knew it was going to be a 50-foot foundation, smaller than 100.
It's 5 feet.
It's not even formed up. He dug a hole and filled it with concrete.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry to disappoint you on that one. And then the last sheet is the schedule. Again, tracking projects are coming to an end. One thing I do need to mention about Bayou Buff, because it came up, Andy mentioned the EHP approval. On Bayou Buff, we don't have it for the new building. And that won't happen until CRC approves the project that, they're looking at right now. We still have a time, I think. Notice to proceed would be in October. So we would need EHP to approve the project by that time.
So we also don't have it for Golden Meadow Middle,
We don't have it for
which
Golden Meadow
we
Middle.
did a pre-construction and we have contract signed. Difference there is we have to surcharge the ground and we do have approval for that. So that's a 6-month for this giant pile of dirt, let it sit. All South is feeling very confident, right? But not speaking for it.
Yeah,
That we'll have it by then.
that would be December, January that we would need that EHP approval for them to continue with the building of the new building. Bayou Buff, we don't have that surcharge. October would be the notice to proceed date, which is getting close, so that's something that we need to discuss with the FEMA folks as making them aware of it. Again, the good news, I hate to bring that up, postponing, but we have a completion date of, I think it's February 1st.
Yeah, it's the early part of 2027, but knowing how weather is, we're trying to leave some contingency in time. We have to add time on that.
which we have 3 months. He added for contingency, which would put us into April, which is still time, you know, if FEMA delays this as far as getting that, EHP. So that's something we're gonna have to talk about as far as going out to bid, which is first advertisement is scheduled for July 11th. Something to consider and talk about. But again, I want to be positive on the FEMA side. We had the call this morning, and every indication I got from my team, Cindy and company, is that they're getting good feedback from the FEMA. Let's hope that continues. Okay.
Any questions for Mr. Bernard? If not, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Moving to new business, and to consider a request from EJ's Basketball League to waive the fees for the use of the gymnasium for Sixth Ward Middle School. And in the recommended action, I'm asking for a motion to approve a request from EJ's Basketball League to waive the fees for the use of the gymnasium at Sixth Ward Middle School for a 3-year period. The requester would be responsible for the $300 damage deposit and custodial fees, and the contact person is Mr. Elliot Eisen. So move Ms. Fatita, second by Mr. Wright. Go ahead, sir.
It's just a renewal, request for the waiver fees. We've been playing there 15, 20 years. I've been in charge for the last 3. Any questions or volunteers?
Any public comment or questions? If not, any board comment or questions?
This is the neighborhood that comes and plays basketball.
Yeah, it's an invitation only,
Right,
a couple hours per week.
yes. Okay, I remember, just want to
It
make
has been
sure.
approved as far as all the insurance coverages and everything. That's all new.
The only thing that was new is the $300 deposit that I didn't send yet, so we get the approval.
Any other questions? And let's vote, please. Set it up. And the motion is approved.
Thank y'all very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Al.
The next item was, or the new business was, consider bids for the football field scoreboard project at Central Lafourche High School. It's my understanding that we're really not ready for that yet. So, Mr. Wright, I'm gonna ask that you move to table it. And Mr. Tatum, any public comment? Any board comment? Not, let's vote on the motion, please.
Need the handle?
All in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. And with that, I believe our meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.